Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in a bonus bet.
Bron and the Lakers are looking a little better, so I'm excited to see how they do coming out of All-Star break with some big games against the Warriors and the Suns coming up.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. New customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Jenkins, Jenkins. The crown is yours. Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Thursday, February 22nd, and we have got a ton of hilarious stuff to talk to you about today. Very excited, and thanks to everyone who's been watching the Love is Blind recap episodes. That's been crazy. We've been hearing from all kinds of people about our Love is Blind takes.
Oh, yeah.
An old family friend. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go ahead because you got a. No. You said old family friend.
Old family friend. Like my mom. When I lived out in LA for like 2 years as a kid, I was like 3 and 4. Like I hadn't seen her since that long. But she saw a video. She saw the YouTube which her brother sent to her, and was like, "Yo, you should check this out. I know you watch that show a lot." And she was like, "He looked familiar. What the like? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?" And then she saw the St. Louis hat in the background. And she was like, John Anthony? Hit my mom up. They known each other for like shit. I don't know, bro. 40 years as long as I've been around. So, yeah, man. Crazy. You know what I mean?
That's cool. I love that.
We're reaching totally different demos, bro. You know what I mean? 60-year-old black women. You know, the brand is brolic, nigga. You feel what I'm saying?
Careful. We've also, I think we've also helped bring a new demographic to Love is Blind, which is great. We've had a lot of people tweeting at us like, I was never going to watch that show, but I don't want to miss out on a Jenkins and Jonez recap.
We have for sure helped them reach the real nigga demographic as well. So, you know, shouts to all the homies who have tapped in.
That's what I was trying to imply. Absolutely. All right. As always, Jenkins and Jonez, hosted by Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody out the gun.
Jethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, Bubbas?
I'm Gardy B, a.k.a. Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
And we are produced by the lovely and talented Jackson Sapphire.
What's up?
We are also produced. I mean, we have a lot. Actually, we got a lot of producers. We never really shout Josh or Biko out, but Biko, the even lovelier than Jackson producer Biko, has recently moved to Turkey. So at the end of the show, we're gonna ask her how that went. She just moved from America to Turkey with a child, and I'm excited for those. There's nothing better than traveling with a baby travel stories. Truly like someone volunteering to be in a action movie that you wouldn't want to be in. But first, we have to talk about the feud of the decade, JJ Redick and Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers said, when asked about the road trip that included going from Dallas to Utah, that it was one of the hardest road trips ever put together, and that the person who made the schedule, quote, must have never been on an airplane. He said, I already know when people looked at that schedule before the season, they were like, end of a road trip, back-to-back in Utah. JJ Redick went on national television on the Talking Heads Giving Hot Takes show and said that he does not think that Doc Rivers takes accountability or is accountable. And which I know people who like Doc Rivers who I think would agree with that. I mean, he's got like a highlight reel of some of the funniest accountability dodges you'll ever hear a head coach do. But some people took offense, including Austin Rivers, Doc Rivers' son, and Pat Bev, who leapt to Doc Rivers' defense. Tyler, how did you end up feeling about Doc and JJ and all of this? And I'll promise you this, Tyler. If anyone ever says that you are not accountable on national TV, I will find you 2 better people to defend you than fucking Pat Bev and Austin Rivers. I promise you that.
Dog, that shit was just like a fucking Royal Rumble of fucking, you know, Doc Rivers criticism. Like, we had Spencer Hawes chime in. We had Marcin Gortat chime in. Basically, you know, after JJ said that, Pat Bev, who's going to bat for his new coach, which is what you would want from a guy, right? Like,
sure.
I'm not holding that against Pat Bev. You know, he's someone who who that's his appeal, and I think he knows that's where he makes his money. Is he's someone who will get in the trenches and mix it up when no one else will, when it's above other people. Giannis isn't going to hop out there and get into a fucking Twitter debate with JJ. So he's earning his keep, right? Like and I ain't mad at him because he's someone who had to do the little things like that to kind of stay around, right?
It's also a 2-for-1 for Pat Bev because he has the new player with that reputation
and their time with
going for
the Sixers together as well. Yeah.
Yes, but he's also a podcaster who
content, right? ABC always be content,
right? Like we're gonna end up, I think, agreeing with JJ Redick, obviously. But like the best thing for the numbers of the show would be for us to say something that allowed our lovely and talented producers to clip out Jenkins and Jonez blasts JJ Redick for Doc Rivers comments, which is what Pat Bev leaned into and achieved because we're talking about Pat Bev now. So salute to that man, I guess.
Yeah. And basically, all the defense for Pat, for Doc Rivers, it was just, they weren't refuting JJ's points. They were just, Pat came at him basically saying, you ungrateful. He's the only one who gave you a shot when no one else in the league wanted to pay you and blah, 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 which JJ refuted, came with the receipts. And then, you had Austin Rivers, who's like, your best years were under Doc. This is just completely ungrateful. Like, that was his whole point. No one was speaking to the facts of what he said about how Doc Rivers is just a fucking infamous accountability dodger. We all know that, right? So that was what was interesting to me about that. And then it kind of scaled into a whole bigger discussion that JJ took on the next day on First Take about the NBA discourse. If y'all want to hop into that,
we'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to, I just want to drill in on why can't you just say he's won a championship? I think he's a great coach, and leave it at that. Like you said, no one refuted JJ's argument at all. And there's been so much conversation around it, but I haven't seen anyone say, no, actually, like that would have been a real defense. No. Like in a meeting after this game, Doc came and said, hey, I didn't do a good enough job of this, whatever. Instead, it just surfaced the receipts of, there's the 76ers loss, which was like a super comical like string of excuses. And it's like, yeah, man, like that's, him going, no one gave me credit for going up 3-1 in a series that we ended up blowing.
The worst, they could not dig in the crates. And they couldn't dig in the crates and find any film from this dude just taking accountability after us. What we did find, though, was a clip of him last year in 2023 talking about the 2003 lead that he blew with the Orlando Magic. We found him retconning throwing people under the bus from 20 years ago. We found that where he was just completely off base too, where he was like, we lost to the Pistons. What do you want us to do? They won a championship that year. They did not win the championship that year. It was 03,
no one gives
motherfucker.
Me credit for going up 3-1 against the eventual champions.
And they were not the eventual champs. That's the thing. 2003, the fucking Spurs won. Right, the Spurs won in 2003, bro. The Pistons won 2004. The Pistons team that beat your ass, Doc, was not the same championship caliber Pistons team because we all know, we were there. What made that Pistons team a championship contender and an eventual championship team was the acquiring of Rasheed Wallace in 2004. He was not there in 2003, bro. So yeah, man. I mean, not only was he throwing people under the bus, for some shit they did 20 years ago, he was lying like a motherfucker too. Like, goddamn, dude.
Is this the first time somebody's brought this up publicly? Because I feel like we've been talking about this like the entirety of the podcast existence. Every time we bring up Doc Rivers talking about how he's not taking accountability. Why is there such a huge reaction to this? As if like the entire NBA, world doesn't look at him in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so is this the first time it's brought up on like a talking head public show? And I'm surprised that that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen someone who played for him.
I think that's the difference. That is someone who played for him.
Who played for him and was successful under him. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with Pat Bev or Austin Rivers. Like JJ Redick owes the end of his career to Doc. I don't agree with that. But he was successful under him. So like, I think that's the thing. And I think JJ is sort of the he's sort of like money laundering this like widely held opinion into the like top level sphere of consciousness of like a talking head show and a dude of his stature saying it. I think that's kind of what the difference is. But yeah, man, like, and it's not just us. It's not just talking heads. I mean, like you said, there's plenty of people in the NBA who feel the same way about Doc. he's just a very like well-respected guy for whatever reason. I mean, I agree, disagree. Everyone who is around him generally says he's a good person. I'm not taking anything away from that. But like, yeah, this is not like this should not be a shocking thing. I think it's more of a like, hey, everyone knows this. Everyone knows your aunt is crazy, but we don't fucking talk about your aunt being crazy. Like, that's what it feels like to me.
Who said it, where they said it. That's basically what caused the issue. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's indisputable.
Yeah. JJ Redick, who truly hates, I think, to his core, being caught up in this kind of narrativizing of the NBA. Like, I think it actually like physically bothers him to like, be in the center of a content storm. Then had a quote where he said on First Take, I can do a video on my podcast where I break down the last 9 games the Pelicans have used Zion Williamson as the primary ball handler. 54,000 views on YouTube. But I want to call out a coach yesterday. Oh, that gets tens of millions of engagements. That's the ecosystem we live in. So do fans actually want to be educated or not? No. I venture not. No.
We ain't in school. This is entertainment, motherfucker.
Yeah, we are here for the mess, bro. Why do you think we do? Why you think we doing Love Is Blind recap episodes? We like drama, motherfucker. But but no, I see the larger point that JJ was getting at. Saying that the discourse around basketball is toxic, and yeah, that's the case. That is the case. But I mean, I just don't think that you can. I feel like there's just so many extremes on here. I feel like people think that people just want either informative coverage or entertaining coverage. I think people like a healthy mix of both, right? I think it's heavier leaning on the entertainment side, of course. But I'm just of the belief that, bro, if you want, deep dive analytical film breakdown shit, there's so much out here for you. There's so much out here for you. You're not going to find it on ESPN on First Take. Of course not. But there's so much out here if you're really, someone who likes to get in the trenches and likes that shit. There's the low post, there's the dunker spot with Nikias and Steve Jones. Like, they do incredible work, bro. It's so much stuff out here for you to find if you want, that type of stuff. And if you want to hear the silly shit, like the drama and cracking jokes, you got shit like us and plenty of other podcasts.
And First Take.
Yeah, and
featuring
First
JJ Redick.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think there needs to be this civil war between the silly billies and the calculator pushers on this shit. There's enough for everybody here, bro.
Talking heads are made for the masses. You know what I'm saying? Those shows are made for the masses. People will watch SportsCenter that don't watch sports. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what First Take is. You know what I mean? Like when you break shit down, it's for the nerds. That's a smaller percentage. That's why you get smaller views. You know what I mean? So it's just what it is. And I think it's always been that way. You know what I'm saying? I think that's media as a whole. That's not basketball. Yeah, I mean, there's more of a soap opera in basketball than maybe the sport. But I don't think basketball in particular is that way when referring to what he's talking about. So, yeah,
it's just it's not necessarily an indictment on sports fans. Like this, that's just how people are, bro. There's
period.
a reason. There's a reason why the number one song on the Billboard Top 40 is going to be some lighthearted, hey, let's party and get drunk type shit instead of some heavy, deep, thought-provoking shit most of the time, right? Yeah. Like, that's just the way the people are. Like, people kind of, prefer the fluff and the entertaining shit, bro.
There's a reason why Sky Zoo is not the best rapper in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that motherfucker can rap his ass off.
He can rap his ass off, but like, dog, nobody's trying, not a lot of people are trying to hear that. You feel me? I fuck with him.
There's two components of this. One is a larger media thing that I'm really happy. Actually, it's funny that JJ Redick ends up being the way this gets brought up, but like as a journalist, like I hear that all the time. You guys have probably made the complaint. I've made the complaint. You see the complaint all the time. Well, why does the media cover blank and not, this like serious thing? And the answer to that question is almost always because you are clicking on the fucking gossip. Like you are clicking on this coach said this crazy thing. Like, and as someone who produces content, as someone who's a journalist, I understand that. I don't have any illusions about what people want. Like, I'm not TMZ. I'm not out here like trying to, ruin someone's life or something. But like, I know if I put up, for example, really good coverage that my team has produced of a high school girls basketball game, it's going to get X number of it's going to get X amount of traffic. If I put up a column saying not enough people support girls basketball because of sexism, that's going to get X times 10. Like that is just like, that's just the reality of it, is like people want anger. And that's actually why social media exists in the way it does. You don't click on a link unless you are angry or happy to the point of crying. Like, that's what makes you click on a link. That's what makes you watch a video all the way through. You don't watch a video, like, there's more people doing that than there are signing up to take enrichment courses at their local college. You know what I mean? And, you know, the other aspect of that on the entertainment versus education, why is this? I don't understand why this is a dichotomy people try and draw in sports. No one watches morning talk shows and goes, oh, the actors are just giving funny anecdotes about other actors. They're not talking about the science of acting. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, no, it's entertainment. Like, sports is entertainment. It is most people's escape from their reality. Like, that's what they are. And that, you know, that's our audience, obviously. Like, and all three of us are interested in sports. Like, I used to watch the ESPN NFL matchup shit that they did, right? Mm-hmm. That was actually breaking it. Ron Jaworski breaking down the fucking X's and O's of, like, this is this team's advantage. They put that shit on at 12:30 in the morning, bro. Like, I understood what that meant as an 11-year-old. Oh, I must be the only motherfucker watching this shit.
I mean, Kobe's series when he was breaking down athletes, you know what I'm saying? It was beautiful to watch. That wasn't on television. You got to go to YouTube. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like, you feel me? And that's Kobe fucking Bryant doing it. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, there's particular people that love that shit, but that's generally not the masses. And that's just how it is in the industry as a whole.
And of all sports, especially in basketball, let's be completely honest. Like, I think your average NFL fan, your average Major League Baseball fan probably had a more involvement with the sport than your average basketball fan. They're probably more aware of some basic scheme stuff. We both, all three of us have got friends who watch the finals every year who said that LeBron James is a bitch, right? All three of us have friends who just are
you don't watch basketball saying LeBron James is a bitch. You know
but that's I mean? But that's so much of the finals audience is like, y'all don't like LeBron because he's soft. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you've watched 6 games this year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yeah.
But that's why that's who you're counting on to watch the finals. And we've talked about this with the history of the sport. The Magic Johnson and Larry Bird did not drive the NBA to new heights because people were technically aware of the things they were doing that were special. It was because of the narrative of a white superstar and a black superstar. Like, racism. That's basketball.
We needed racism. That moves the needle. You know what I'm saying?
But it's a story. Like, you know what I'm saying? The NBA is more like pro wrestling than any other sport. Like whether you like that or dislike it, it is more about the celebrity and the personality. And did you see that Jokic looked jealous when Brunson was coming up to Luka? Like, it's more of that than other sports because it's more about the people playing it than the other sports, right? You could be a Niners fan and all you love is the 49ers quarterback. You don't give a fuck who it is. Your grandpa felt that way. Your dad felt that way, whatever. Basketball, everyone forever. Like, I was a Lakers fan who loved Michael Jordan because he was Michael Jordan. That was the leader of youth culture when we were kids. Like, I didn't know anything about, wow, like, his athleticism allows him to do X, Y, and Z that other people's athleticism don't. It's just, did you fucking see Michael Jordan, the dunk from last night? Like, so that's healthy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sports science was fire.
Sports science was fire.
Nigga, bro.
Incredible.
Michael Jordan's reactions are quick as a jaguar. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the shit that they would say was insane, and I loved that shit. But yeah,
but I mean, I think it's this as well. I think that as beautiful of a sport basketball is, as complicated as schemes and such are, it's entertainment. At its core, it's entertainment, and what gets you invested in entertainment is when you are emotionally invested in it. In entertainment, right? Like JJ Redick made up how his film about Zion being the primary ball handler only got like 54,000 views. But I'm sure there was probably some emotional stuff that he touched on in the video. I haven't watched it, but I'm sure he was like, I'm wondering how Ingram's going to adjust to Zion being the primary ball handler now, right? Like, that's an emotional aspect of things. You feel me? There's no way that you can separate that from this. And I'm just not a believer that we need to kind of just, eliminate the emotional aspect of things and just kind of focus on the X and O's and the, syntax of shit. That's also, not my angle.
Also, he's ignoring certain things. Like, Zion Williams is not like, Giannis. He's not as popular as he once was. And he's talking about a New Orleans basketball player. That's a very small market. Not a lot of interest in that. So, I mean, you got to take those two things into account as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, So that doesn't make as much sense. I mean, if you're talking about a player that everybody's a fan of on a big market team, that will make more sense, compared to a talking head show that everybody watches. But even with that, the numbers wouldn't be as much. But also, you're talking about Zion Williams in New Orleans. The Pelicans are a good team. But how many people are turning on the television to watch the Pelicans, let alone competing on YouTube for that video? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, the SEO isn't going to hit, bro. You feel me? Like,
yeah. And I would add, by the way, like all three, like we've all had frustration with the media ecosystem around the NBA and sports. That's why I said football was good, because you can learn while watching the sport. It's a better product. And being entertained.
So I definitely agree. There's a good medium. Yes, yeah.
But I do want to make that clear. Like, we're not, none of the three of us are like, no, the media ecosystem's fucking great around the NBA. We talk about it a lot, like the frustrations with it. But I do think you have to start at least with a clear-eyed understanding of who you're talking to and who the fans of the sport are. And they just are not people who are waking up going, I wonder what Brandon Ingram's off-ball movement is going to look like today. It's just not the case. Like,
yes. Even for the most diehard NBA fans, that's a tough one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And also something that is just foundational and at the core of NBA fandom is confirmation bias, right? Like, that's why we have all these stan accounts and shit. And that's why we have, all these sects of, these sections of people who just, root for certain players or certain teams. It's because they're like, look, I think LeBron is the greatest player ever. He is on the path to prove that to y'all. And I'm not coming off this boat until y'all are fucking convinced, right? That's why there was such a visceral reaction to what JJ said, because it was like, finally, you're saying what we've all said. You are confirming our biases on Doc Rivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big part of it too, bro.
Time I buy tickets, it's a weird pick your own adventure experience with a bunch of hidden fees, and I never know what I'm going to spend. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Gametime is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you.
I'm looking at the Gametime app right now. The Wizards have quite a few home games that I'm interested in coming up. They've got the Phoenix Suns visiting in February. They've got the Celtics coming there a couple weeks after that. Gametime offers last-minute ticket deals, zone deals. It's easy to find and buy tickets of every kind of event in your area. You can view all the seats in your venue. I'm very much interested in the Hennessy Suites that they have going on at the Wizards home arena, so definitely interested in investigating that a little bit more with this app.
Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal before you check out. They're obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. Gametime has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. And with zone deals, you pick the section and Gametime picks the seats for big-time savings. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code JANJ for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code JANDJ for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We got some criticism from our Midwestern listeners about our takes on Indianapolis not being fit to host an all-star game, not necessarily being fit to host a visitor. But I will say this. We at least had the kindness to be blunt and explain the way that we felt. Here is the NBA's recently released new requirements on what it will take to host an all-star game. 7,250 hotel rooms and a minimum of 3 5-star hotels. Convention center of 650,000 square feet of exhibition space. This is my favorite, number 3. 75 nonstop domestic flights and at least 20 international flights. The NBA told Indianapolis the same shit we told Indianapolis, but we didn't start talking about your hotels are whack, your airport's bullshit.
They got into the weeds, nigga. You know what I mean? I don't like the way you smell. Your jeans are weak, nigga.
Your convention center.
Your haircut trash, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got in the weeds on that motherfucker. They started flaming them niggas, bro. Sheesh.
Bro, convention centers and everything in this motherfucker. Like, oh, your city's never hosted a Comic-Con?
Right. You don't have 3 5-star, you know what I mean, hotels, like that shit got crazy. You feel me?
Oh Christ!
The flights thing actually is brutal. There was like no nonstop flights to Indianapolis, and when I went, and I was like, oh, we booked our shit kind of late. That's probably why they're all booked up. And I just looked at it for a random weekend in a few weeks. There's only 3 nonstop flights from LA to Indianapolis, and one of them is a red eye. Like for when you're descending
LA, nigga, like
from Los Angeles,
bruh,
you're bringing in
LAX?
all of these people all at once. I mean, I'm not trying to like say I can't take a flight with the stop, but like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it's not convenient.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I just cannot believe how much I have been leaning Republican with so much of this All-Star shit lately, dog. And I do not like this. Like, you know, we crack our jokes on how Indianapolis is a city that probably shouldn't have the All-Star game, but I would have never thought the NBA would have taken action like that. And you know, especially you got small market teams like OKC building a new arena. The understood unspoken rule was you build a new arena, you're eventually getting an All-Star game, right? Like that's how it's been throughout the history of the NBA. And I just feel like, you know, the small market teams are getting cheated. I'm really turning into that guy. You know, the small market teams are, you know, get the short end of the stick again. And like we said before, All-Star game is for the kids, bro. Like from like fucking 7 to like 12. Like that's the prime demographic of the people who truly, truly, truly enjoy the All-Star game. And I feel like, you know, some OKC kids just got screwed over here.
I mean, they don't have the money to pay to go to the All-Star game, though. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is about that. You feel me? I don't know, bro. Like, it's like we just said, it's about entertainment, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You go to the All-Star game, and you spending your money to get there, you want to be entertained. Who are the people that are going there? They're not going to get the same amount of entertainment in OKC and Indianapolis as other cities. And so I see why there was issues. You feel me? It's odd that the NBA would come out and just say, fuck y'all. You know what I mean? Like, I thought they would do it. I thought they would do it a little bit, be a little more slick about it. You feel me? But this was pretty overt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to both of your guys' point, that's what was surprising to me. They could have just not scheduled the All-Star game in Indianapolis. Instead, they released a list saying, here are the ways in which we found you specifically inadequate. That's fucking crazy to me, bro.
I just, it's just so wild to me that these are the measures the NBA takes, right? Like after you basically had so many superstars saying, bro, we do not take this shit seriously. And they're like, okay, well, we are going to only have this in cities that are going to be an even bigger distraction from the on-court shit, right? Okay, you couldn't lock in Indianapolis, Atlanta, and Miami are the answer now. Like, really? How does that make sense, bro? I just don't get it.
What cities would y'all want to see the All-Star game in? It's L.A., Miami,
LA,
New York.
Miami, New York.
I love Chicago,
Houston.
Bro.
Yeah,
I had
Houston,
a
Chicago.
ball in Chicago. It's cold as shit.
Chicago's your Midwest one.
Yeah,
Even if it is fucking negative 70 degrees, whatever.
It's fun, though.
That's it?
Houston.
Houston. Hell yeah. Houston. Hell yeah. Did you say Atlanta? Y'all said Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay.
When they inevitably expand to Vegas and Seattle, also I would put those two on the list.
Yeah.
Seattle. Maybe not Seattle for the masses, but for me.
See, but Seattle to me is a great example of using the All-Star game for a purpose, right?
Yes.
That's a great, I mean, you hard launch, like, hey, and then you announce at an All-Star game in Seattle, the Sonics are coming back with this ownership. I mean, like, that's
Makes
a
all
moment.
the sense in the world. That's fire, bro.
That's a moment. And it is a, like, you're almost like acknowledging, like, this is fucked up. We let this city that we won't even let host an All-Star game take your Seattle Supersonics. We're back here as, like, you know, you haven't had the NBA in Seattle in too long. So here's the All-Star game. We're bringing all the superstars here because we robbed you of fucking Kevin Durant, James Harden. Like, this was not like the fucking Baltimore Colts sneaking out of Baltimore. Like, this was like we took the biggest names like in basketball to Oklahoma. We took them away from you in Seattle. Yeah. Anyway.
Also, I think do y'all think the demo that goes, like, you know, I think Indianapolis is great at hosting shit, like NCAA tourney and all that shit. I feel like that's a very different demo from the All-Star. People that go up to All-Star want much different from, I think, people that are traveling to watch the NCAA tournament. So, like, I'm not saying it's not good at hosting shit. I don't think it's probably good at hosting an All-Star. I think there's very few cities equipped to, you know, fulfill the people that are going to be attending All-Star games. They're traveling for All-Star games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. NBA and NCAA fans are two different
breeds,
bro.
I mean, you go to this again, you bring your whole family with you a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? It's a totally different experience. All-Star, bro. You might, it's wild boy time. You feel me? Or wild girl. You know what I mean? Hey, we're not just inclusive over here. Or wild day. Hey, you know what I mean? But yeah.
All right. Let's talk about this connects to. I just didn't want to talk about him that high up on the show, but this does connect with Doc Rivers. Rick Pitino challenging Doc Rivers for worst accountability taker in the sport of basketball right now. Rick Pitino, after a recent loss, said that coaching this year at it says St. John's, I believe, correct? That he's coaching.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He said that it's been the worst experience, the least enjoyable experience of his life. He said that, quote, our lateral quickness and toughness is something I've never experienced. He specifically named individual players as being too slow laterally to play on his
Retire,
team.
nigga.
He said, we're unathletic defensively. We have no lateral movement. It's not the effort. This is your basketball team. Unlike Doc Rivers, you brought all these.
You built this squad, bro.
Like y'all ever seen that meme that said, "How you say Subway trash, nigga? You made the sandwich." Like it's basically this, right? It's basically this in basketball terms. But to Pitino's credit, I think this is trash. I would just never be a fan of calling out college kids by names. Like in the pros, go ahead and do that, right? Like but
Right,
in college,
grown
like,
ass men.
yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, but I'll never be on the side of that. But I don't know if we can necessarily say that this is Pitino of being an under the bus thrower. I think he's just a brutally honest dude. Y'all remember when he was being investigated, this man put his hand on the Bible and said in front of a court that he only lasted like 15 seconds when he had sex with that woman. Like this is a dude who's going to be a straight shooter at his expense.
He's talking about himself, though, nigga. He's
Yeah.
putting himself on blast. It's different when you calling out, you know what I'm saying, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, I think that's trash. That's inexcusable.
Yeah.
But I do think this dude is just a super honest, straight shooter, bro. Like I think that I wouldn't necessarily call him an accountability dodger like Doc has been, because we've never seen Doc, say, hey, yeah, I'm trash. Say we've never seen Doc.
I only lasted 15 seconds, nigga. I'm a bum in the motherfucking bed. I'm short stroking, nigga. What
I
you mean?
swear before Jesus.
Short stroke, shorty, yeah. I don't, yeah. I feel like what I trip off is like, bro, how much money do you have? You know what I mean? And you are on television, this frustrated, saying this is the worst experience of your life. Nigga, leave, bro.
Yeah, it's time.
Don't waste no more time, baby. It's over with, dog. Like if you worst experience of your life, it might not be the thing for you to do no more. Enjoy the money, enjoy the rest of your life, though. Spend time with your grandkids, my boy. Crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine having that much money being that age, talking about I had the worst experience of my life. The fuck you mean? I'm out mid-season. Fuck what y'all think. Legacy built. Okay? I'm out of here, nigga. You feel me? Ain't no way.
All right. Let's talk about the new food sensation dropping tomorrow on February 23rd. Tyler.
This nigga got the. Oh, you talking about your shit?
No. This is Tyler brought this to my attention. I wouldn't have seen this otherwise.
Okay.
But KFC is debuting a new pizza-inspired fried chicken menu item called the Chizza. It is fried chicken, I assume strips with cheese and tomato sauce and pepperoni on top of it. Tyler, it did a little something for you.
I'm not gonna lie. Look, I'm curious. Like, for one, fried chicken is delicious. Maybe not KFC's, and pizza is delicious. Yeah, KFC's used to be fire. And you combine the two, and like, bro, what is there not to be intrigued about? It's basically chicken parmesan with pepperoni. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Chicken parm, baby.
That's it, man. I am willing to venture out there. Yeah. I'm willing to venture out there and try that shit.
Ain't no way I'm eating that shit, but this was the most American meal I've ever heard described in my life, dog. You feel me? Pizza and chicken. You can't eat them separate. Let's make them one, motherfucker. Let's see what happens, dog.
I'm honestly surprised.
Tell me how it tastes. Tell me how it tastes.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep y'all in the loop. I'm honestly surprised with the marriage that chicken wings and pizza spots have, that no one's ever made pizza wings before. Like, it's right there, bro. You got all the shit. Like,
so wait, is a pizza on top of the wings, or are they just putting wings on pizza?
It's like some chicken tenders, and they put the marinara sauce and the cheese and the pepperoni on top.
It's like fried chicken is the crust.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. That's it. Hey, I don't know, bro. I think it's a lot of steps you have to take to get to that point. You know what I mean? Chicken on the pizza, but like a stack of chicken, and then we go put some pizza on top of it. I see why it took that long to get there, bro.
They clearly have
But
an
to Tyler's-
obsession.
It's
Maybe
just
not an
chicken
obsession,
parm.
but an interest in
I hear you, but
making
Yeah.
chicken as bread, because they also used to have that
Yeah, the
chicken
double
sandwich
down.
where there
Yeah.
was 2 chicken as the layers of bread on a sandwich. So they clearly
was
have this
crazy.
chicken to bread pipeline going on at KFC.
Well, it's
Yeah.
got breading on it.
Right? Yeah, it's got flour on there.
It's fried
Yeah.
bread, bro. I mean, every piece of fried chicken is a chicken sandwich. Technically, it's fried bread on that motherfucker.
Love that.
Love that.
Is it-
Wow, that's
Wow.
a great point.
Wow.
I mean,
is there bones in there? Is these like
no,
boneless chicken?
It's like chicken tender type shit.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense to me. Okay. I thought it was like actual chicken wings. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense. Yeah.
I love that. Hot dog is a sandwich. Who cares?
Yeah.
Fried chicken. Now that's a sandwich.
Tired and wired, baby. That's where we at with it now.
Did y'all
Hell
eat
yeah.
that sandwich
Electric
that had that glazed donut as the bread? It was a chicken
I did
sandwich
not-
with the
I did
glazed
not
donut as the
have
bread?
that.
I didn't have it. That was actually where I got off the bus. I tried every disgusting fast food creation this country produced prior to that, and that was the one where I was like, it's time to grow up. It's time to put childish things aside.
I
How-
ate one. I got 3 bites into it. My head started hurting, nigga. I'm like, dog, I'm too young for this to be
You felt
happening
that
to me.
sugar in your eyeballs.
Oh man, I was like, nigga. I'm like, this is not. Blood pressure was beep beep beep. I'm like, damn, bro. No way.
How hard did the McGriddle hit y'all when it dropped?
Oh, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Me and Rother was talking about making our own McGriddles at the crib, nigga. You feel me? Like figuring out how to put honey in pancakes. You know what I mean? And making the pancake the bread, and then adding the cheese, egg, sausage type shit. She don't need sausage, but you know what I mean. For me, I'm gonna add a sausage there. But McGriddles is nigga top tier.
Bro, I vividly remember the summer McGriddle dropped. Summer 03. And I remember me and the homies had gone to Virginia Beach for the 4th of July. We had drove back to the crib. It was like 6 in the morning. We stopped at fucking McDonald's and tried McGriddles for the first time. And we was playing Pharrell Front. And I was like, dog, this was a perfect fucking day. Listen, McGriddles will always hold a place in my heart. I haven't eaten them in like 5-6 years, but when they first hit, dog.
5 or 6? You haven't
Yeah.
eaten that recent, nigga? That's crazy. I didn't know that. Nigga,
Yo,
you
Tyler has the
different.
craziest memory of any human being on the face of the earth.
No, that was a
insane.
perfect. You would have to remember that night forever. That was a
He
perfect night.
also remembers the time that he stole some fries. His homie had a fryer, dipped the fries in there, was like, this will be the best day of my life. Like, it will never get better than this.
No, you're
It was some
underselling
nuggets.
it. They
Yeah.
stole
They
the
skipped
whole
school.
bag.
They stole a bag. They stole a bag.
A bag of
Go-
chicken of McDonald's chicken. I was working at McDonald's in high school. Me and the homies decided to cut school one day and play fucking GoldenEye and listen to Equimini. And I had a bag of frozen McDonald's nuggets for a fucking 17-year-old. Do you, bro?
Y'all
We
got
were
high
eating
too,
McDonald's.
right? Was y'all high as
Yes,
hell too? Okay.
Of course we got high. So we were some 17-year-olds listening to Equimini, eating McDonald's fries, smoking weed. Bro, life doesn't get any better than that.
A lot of your memories are surrounded by food. And I think that's a lot of people, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? You took a bite of that motherfucking McGriddle and like the sunshine, you know what I'm
His
saying?
synapses
Hit you a little
opened up
harder.
like fucking
Right,
flower petals, bro.
It's like food is his version of mushrooms. You know what I mean? Like the colors on the on the grass and the leaves like are way more vivid when he took the bite of that motherfucking McGriddle. You know, maybe that's not food. I think McDonald's, because a lot of your their experiences are surrounded by McDonald's. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
The
that's
fucking
why
fish
McDonald's
fillet.
is McDonald's, bro.
Yeah,
Everyone went
nostalgia
McDonald's with
is
their
always their
You know what I'm
biggest
saying?
selling point.
Yeah.
But fish fillet go crazy though. Fish fillet go crazy. I'll give you. McGriddle is
Yeah.
wild though. Fish fillet is fire.
I genuinely think that's. I talk to my kids about that all the
McRib,
fucking
I mean.
time.
My bad.
No, and you also, I think I sent you the picture of the Kurt Vonnegut quote we've had up in Vinny's room since he was a baby. The note it I urge you to notice if this isn't nice, what is. I really think appreciating those moments, not the oh, I'm at the fucking Oscars, but the quiet daily moments like that. I texted y'all a Sunday a couple weeks ago that was all I did was play with my kids, go to the park, watch fucking football, and cook today. It was this was just a perfect fucking day. I don't know. I think that's a real, everything in this country is pointed to making you not realize that how cheap most of those days are also, you know what I mean? But I had the same thing as Tyler. When I was a kid, we were home all summer. My parents were both working. and my best friend lived 3 doors away. And I remember every night I would go to bed like, 14 years old. Like, it's probably not going to be the case for very long in my life that my best friend is 3 doors. He's a 30-second walk from my house, and we play video games and basketball and football all day. That's all we do. I just remember being aware of that as a kid. Like, damn, man, this is going to go away because my parents don't ever do anything like this.
Living that sitcom life, bro. Whenever I watch a sitcom, I'm always envious. I'm like, bro, you and 4 of your best friends live in the same apartment building. Like, how perfect is that? You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
College. Yeah. That's good. Like, but people, you only get that shit in college.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like my memories are surrounded by like Earth shit, like the planet. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is a beautiful fucking day. I remember like in 7th grade playing basketball, and it was spring in Tennessee, sat down on the ball and just was like, this is fucking beautiful. I can't believe we get a chance to live here. You know what I mean? So like usually like outdoors is like where I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like that's when I have like those moments. I know in that moment I knew I'd never forget that moment. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I will never forget this moment. Like it felt a particular way. And I just think like Earth is my McRib. You know what I'm saying?
I have those moments traveling now too. I did not have that at all when I was a kid. It was just, where are we? You know what I mean? All right. Well, I might be about to have one of these moments right now. I have procured a Reese's Caramel Big Cup.
Oh boy.
If you guys are okay watching me eat for 15 seconds, I'm going to try it right now. This is hot off the presses. Thank you to my unnamed assistant in helping me get one of these. All right. I'm nervous about this because, first of all, the Big Cup is not my favorite Reese's product. I do not prefer the ratio when there's this much peanut butter.
Oh, it's too much peanut butter?
Yeah. So can you describe this? So it's like a bigger Reese's cup and it has supposed to have caramel inside in addition to the peanut butter?
Yes, and if I'm to go by the packaging, it looks like the caramel is in a layer on the bottom, which also makes me worried texturally about it because of peanut butter. One of the things I love about a Reese's seasonal peanut butter candies is that you get the juxtaposition of the dry peanut butter with just a little bit of the moistness from the chocolate. You know what I mean? But I don't know
break it down. This is JJ Redick style.
I don't know.
Juxtaposition talking about fucking Reese's is crazy, but go ahead, brother.
They sell a lot of them off that juxtaposition, my brother.
I have an important question here for you,
Do
Mike.
people want to be educated or not? Okay.
So I want to be educated, which is why I'm advocating that you go against your 3's normal strategy of one bite.
I can't do a big cup in one bite.
You have to. I want to see a cross section. I need to see. I want to see the.
Oh, okay.
These are too big. It's probably
Oh god damn!
twice the size.
Dog it, nigga.
Let's go.
It's probably twice the size of a Reese's peanut butter cup. So yeah, I would not.
Right.
I wouldn't personally crack it.
One bite, everybody knows
Like
the
a-
rules.
like an
Let's go.
animal.
Me.
Riveting.
Bro, don't leave us hanging, bro.
I know that Mike's picking up that chew sound. You can hear that caramel. smack on
yeah.
his lips.
Smack it on his lips. There's caramel in there? Oh, you don't like it. It's mid to you. It's
Ooh.
mid to you.
So the caramel's on the bottom.
That looks
Okay.
great to me.
It's not a real high quality caramel.
You ain't fucking with it, Jackson?
That,
Oh, that
that
sounds
shit
good.
looks solid.
It
as hell.
looks,
You
it
know-
looks great.
good.
I don't know, man. That caramel ain't goopy enough for me, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I was expecting it to be like a Ghirardelli
It's
type,
not-
like
it's
a
not
like
the-
actually
yeah.
like kind of
Yeah.
gooing out of the
So is
the
it-
bottom. You know what I mean?
Is it thin? Is that what you're saying? Or like what's- it's
thin
not
and
as-
it's not the right consistency, which is difficult because if it was truly a soft caramel, it probably melts in with the peanut butter.
Is this the only Reese's you taste where it's just been mid to you? Because it seems like you're a Reese's super fan. Like, you know what I mean?
I've tasted every Reese's product they've ever put out, and I've only talked about the ones that truly like mean something to me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's
This
a
is
lot
the
of
regular and the seasonal.
well, I mean,
Okay, sorry. I don't want to open up Pandora's box.
how do y'all feel about the Reese's Take 5? This is a long-standing debate between me and Shar.
I don't even know what
Shar preferred. You don't know what a Take 5 bar is, bro?
I've had
No,
a
no,
Take
I-
Five.
I said I'm not a fan.
Oh, okay.
I had them like in when people were giving them away for Halloween, but I never would buy one myself.
Oh, this
so
has
I guess
pretzels in
means
it?
Yeah.
I
that's gonna be a no for
don't do the sweet savory.
I'm
The
with
sweet
Tyler.
and salty, you don't fuck with it, Tyler?
I don't fuck with the sweet
I'm
salt.
not mad at that, but yeah.
I love the Reese's Take 5, but Shar preferred the Take 5 when the peanut butter was not Reese's, because it's almost like too sweet for her. It's like too much sweet and too much salty, because she liked the salty with a little bit of sweet. That went too far. I feel like that's kind of how I feel about this. I wouldn't say it's mid. I mean, I'm still gonna finish this.
Okay, I was wondering if you're gonna finish it. I'm like, you look like you put it down. I'm like, you put down the Reese's? Like,
I put it down because we probably don't need more audio of me chewing, but
okay, understandable.
I like it.
But yeah, no, it didn't do for me what I was hoping it would do. If it had like a soft caramel in it, I feel like they would really have done something. You know what I mean?
You think it's because it's the early release? Maybe they'll change it up a little bit.
You gotta
3
get
months
the
from
bugs
there.
out, like it's an iPhone or something.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
yeah.
I think it's
when you get the update, maybe it'll, you know what I'm saying, hit better.
Yeah.
You feel me?
No, I think it's very similar to. I mean, this is going to be the same thing with the fucking Chizza. You can't have the if the marinara gets into the breading and makes the breading soft, that's going to be disgusting, right? Like that's not what you would want from the Chizza. I feel like they had a similar issue. They had to go with a thicker, more sedentary caramel, because otherwise it just gets absorbed by the peanut butter.
But why wouldn't you,
know what I
want
mean?
that? That'd be great. That sounds like it'd be. I'm not mad at getting absorbed.
But
by
people
the
are going to
peanut
eat it
butter
and go, "Oh, it's just caramel flavored peanut butter." I can't see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
people
I
get
see
caramel,
that.
they want to. It's like sexual.
They already
I feel
got
like. People
sued
wanna
once
see
because the eyes aren't on the motherfucking pumpkin. So yeah, they got to
All
see
right.
the caramel. Yeah.
All right, before we get out of here, Biko, can you hop on? All right, hi Biko.
Hi.
Our wonderful producer Biko has recently moved with her daughter to Turkey because her husband is playing professional soccer there, which is probably the only reason that you could ever have seen yourself moving to Turkey, I would assume. But Biko, how has it been in Turkey for the last week? And can you tell the listeners the story of taking a baby cross globe?
Yeah, so my daughter is 20 months and so a year and a half. And she's just at that age where, I mean, you guys know, like she's just wild, like all over the place, exploring new things, learning that she can throw things on the floor. It's so the last few weeks she's like hit that phase like majorly. So I was kind of nervous flying with her. I already have anxiety as it is. So I'm like, okay, what can we do to prepare for this? I've flown with her a lot, but was my first international flight with her. So I was definitely prepared. I did the whole, I had a carry-on backpack with I brought a rolly luggage and I put another carry-on in the luggage so I could pull that. And then I had her stroller, which if you guys don't have the Duna, I definitely say Duna stroller is a fucking game changer. I've traveled with that with her. It's one of those things that collapses and it goes into a car seat when they're
The Duna's
petite enough.
clutch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so worth it. But anyway, so I basically got on the flight. We were lucky enough to fly business, which I think my story would be very different if we had to fly economy. Hats off to the parents that do that on an international flight, because I could not imagine not having space with a toddler. But yeah, I mean, the flight was crazy. We get there and I had 5 bags with me. So that in itself, 5 large bags. We're moving here for a year and a half, and that, and then my carry-ons. And she was actually pretty good. I feel like it's wild to say that this was the best she's ever been when I've flown with her. But I think because we had our own seat and she had headphones, and I don't really let her watch her iPad that much. So I was just full on survival mode of we had talked about this before. You guys gave me advice of throw the mom guilt, parent guilt out the window. And I downloaded a bunch of shows for
some
her.
days you just got to get through, bro, for sure.
Yeah. And not only that, but I looked up some toys that were magnetic that wouldn't go everywhere. But of course, our first flight was to Chicago. And of course, we sat on the tarmac for an hour, and that one was just the 2-and-2 plane. So it was a really small airplane. And we're the very first seat. And thank God the guy next to us, this is what I also have to say about flying is I've had a great experience. There's only been one person that has given me evil eyes when my daughter's been wilding.
Fuck that person.
But yeah, but this guy next to me, my daughter did not want anything to do with me. So she's like crawling all like kind of like going up to him and like, you know, like looking at him and kind of tapping him. And I'm like, please, like, if she's bugging you, like, just tell me. And he's like, no, it's okay, you know. Which is weird to think about because I feel like as a parent, you're like, this is weird. I shouldn't let my child go to this stranger. But I was just kind of like, I don't know, you're sitting right next to me, like, you know. So yeah, and our second flight, so we ended up sitting on that one for an hour, and then we get to Chicago and they're pretty much like, oh, now you have to run. And I had to wait for my stroller, and I don't know if you guys have ever like gate checked strollers, but that takes freaking forever.
Yeah,
because they put them in.
Yeah,
right.
Plane is basically empty by the time you get it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's crazy. So they finally bring it up, and they're like, you have to run that way. Take this bus. The bus is going to take you to the other terminal. That's Terminal 5. You have to get there, and then you're going to have to run, and you have 10 minutes to get there. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So I'm like sprinting through the airport with her in the stroller. I'm like running with like my like luggage. And
you're doing
her.
the Home Alone. You're just straight up like,
oh my God. I probably looked like an asshole. But and then I get to this thing, and the woman's being like, you need to get her out of the stroller. So then I have to figure out how to hold her, hold the stroller, and hold the bag, walk down a bunch of stairs. I get on this bus. The bus is like outside waiting for these planes to take off. So we're just kind of sitting there. And then this guy helps me grab my bag because he's like, oh, you're going to Istanbul too. Like, I'll go with you. I'll like carry your like luggage for you. And then the plane left without us. So we had to stay the night in Chicago. Next morning, got on the flight to come here. And then when we got here, we had what was supposed to be a 3-hour drive, but it ended up being a 5-hour drive and an hour ferry. So it was really long.
Super
but
mom
she was
shit,
great.
man. Crazy.
For real.
Kudos to you.
Like, I'm really lucky. She was really good. And like, we just came across people that were great with kids and all had kids. So if you could, like, people would look at you and just kind of know, and they just start playing with her with the toys in front of her. And yeah, I would just say, like, I think the thing about traveling, I have to always remind myself, is there are those people who have kids or have kids who are older, and you just have to ask for help. And I'm not good at asking for help. So it's like, if you look at someone, you're like, can you please get my suitcase from the top? It's going to fall on me. I'm holding my kid. Like, people are more than willing to do stuff like that.
right.
Yeah. And the one thing about Turkey, I will say so far, is like, there's a major obsession with kids. Like, they love kids here, where if you're walking on the street, you would never get this in America. People like will want to come up to Araya and like pinch her cheeks. Like, straight up, like, come into her face and be like, oh, you know, and like start talking to her. And I'm like, hi. And then they realize I'm American because I still don't speak any Turkish words yet. But yeah, that's kind of the best thing so far is, yeah, people just like really love kids. So that's just
great.
makes it a lot easier. Because yeah, I don't know. I tweeted the other day, like, going to lunch or breakfast or anything with your toddler is just like an experience in itself. So it's nice that people are around and like say hi. And yeah,
I'm glad you guys are settled in. I feel like you actually just touched on what we were talking about earlier, which is like, when you view the world primarily through social media, the algorithm is like juiced to show you people yelling at a mom about having a kid on a plane. But that's so few people in the actual world. And yes, like, we've traveled with kids. Char's traveled with the kids solo when they were very young. I've done the same. Almost every person, even if they probably are someone who's like, I hate kids, like, most people are so helpful and nice if you're like in a vulnerable situation, especially with your kids. And there's just no algorithmic reason for social media to show you that data. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like been the nicest thing is, like I said too, my daughter is like already an extrovert. She just like literally is the girl. She's like in the front of the plane, like high-fiving literally everyone walking on or going like this. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
That's great.
She just like looks at me if someone doesn't give her a high five. So yeah, most people are great.
Not giving a child a high five should be a crime. You know what I mean? Like, you should go to jail for not giving a child a high five. That is so fucking weird. But like y'all were
And
saying,
also,
bro.
like, if you're
Yeah. Yeah.
if you're having a bad day, when like a child being like, "Hi,"
Hell
like,
yeah, bro.
oh,
Like,
okay,
what
let me
type
check
of human
myself.
are you? But yeah, like the people on
Yeah.
planes, like I remember like Somi's worst flight where we were like, oh my God, we finally made it. And there were like 8 people that said, y'all did great. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was so that like, even like when
Don't
you
worry
feel like,
about
oh
it,
my
right.
God, you know,
Yeah.
we've been there. Y'all handled it great. There's so many supportive people. So that one person that was weird, it's such an anomaly. Like, you have to really be an asshole to look at somebody, you know, flying with a kid and like to give him like the evil eye. That's crazy. Like, even as a single,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
Right.
person prior to this, I was like, there's understanding. There's a social contract we have with people who are flying with kids, bro. You know, don't be an asshole. It's already hard enough. And then
Right.
breaking that contract really fuck those type of people for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing I remind myself too is most people now, which we're lucky about, are wearing headphones. So I'm like, most people are watching something or not really paying much attention, and the only person it's bugging is you and your kid. And I like try to remind myself of that. Like, you're living in this moment, they're living in their own.
Yeah.
So I think that also helps
Hey,
me a lot.
if people can't afford noise canceling over your headphones, that's their fucking problem. You know what I mean?
Jesus
It's
If you
it's
broke, that's on you,
They
nigga.
give you, they
feel
give
me?
you
You know
headphones
what I
on
mean? Should have
planes
worked
these days,
harder.
too. Another
shouldn't
thing too.
shouldn't have spent so much money on Starbucks. You could have bought yourself some
right,
headphones
right.
to block out the sound of my baby crying.
You got on Jordans, but you can't afford fucking noise canceling headphones. Priorities.
Priorities. The other thing too, flight attendants are generally really kids too.
Yeah,
For
They'll- I
sure.
mean, Somi got invited to the cockpit a couple times. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're really helpful when it comes to that,
Yeah.
giving extra snacks and shit. But yeah, it's a man. Kudos to you. I just don't know how you did that. 24 hours, and kudos to Baby Riot too. Like I mean, for her to go through that too, like and be do it, go through it and handle it the way she did. Yeah, man. God was
are
on
so
both
much
of y'all
better
side.
Yes, babies are so much better at those kinds of experience though, because they have so little expectation of what reality is. It's just like,
Yeah.
I guess this is what we're doing now.
But like like not crying. And
Mom
all
lets
that,
me watch the iPad now.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
let's do
yeah.
it.
Some be
Especially,
crying
like-
and shit. So yeah, the fact that she didn't do none of that,
they-
that's dope.
They have the prayer goes off, I think like 3 or 4 times a day. And right now we're staying in a hotel and the mosque is like right there. And the first few days she's like, who is this yelling? Because it's on the speaker right next to her. Now she sleeps right through it. And it's just funny because
fine.
those are the things that you worry about. Like, this is gonna go off at 6:20. She's gonna wake up screaming. And now, like Dominique was telling me, he's like, oh, she slept through it. That's well, I did too. But he's like, she slept. It's hella loud. It's like right there.
How
So,
does that feel like? Like I think that'd be like little things like that are like, whoa, I'm really in a totally different world. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I think those are the things that
Yeah.
are really dope about traveling and experiencing different countries and like open your mind to different existences. But anyway, yeah. How does that feel for you? Like to like little stuff like that, like the kids pinching, like them being so loving of kids and like the mosque being next there and they're doing the prayers. Like, how's that experience? How's that transition been for you?
I feel like since I've only been here for a week, I'm still kind of sitting in it to figure it out because I was thinking today too, like here it's so like I do still think twice about people coming up and like talking to my daughter,
For
but
sure.
I was trying to figure out like how I would react in America if someone did that, like
Pull
especially
the
in,
mace
like,
out. Pull the mace
yeah,
out. You know
I
what
think
I'm
I
saying?
would be like, what are
Back,
you doing
back.
back up?
Right.
And I'm still a little bit like that, but people, the energy I think is just really different here, like so far, right? So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. He has a game on Saturday that we might be going to, and I feel like that atmosphere is gonna be really because it's like I said soccer to someone the other day, and I was like, oh shit, my bad. Like they looked at me
Football,
like
right.
they had no idea what I was talking about, and I was like, oh, football. Sorry,
funny.
football.
To John's point, I love traveling, and I would love the afternoon and the evening prayers, but the Fajr, that's not for me. It's too early. It's too early in the day for me to experience other cultures. You got to give me till 8 a.m., please.
Yeah, 6 a.m. 6 a.m. is a little early.
It's a little
But,
early. All right, Biko. Well, thank you so much for telling us about your story. We're excited to have you out there and to hear more about it as you guys are settling into Turkey. And good luck with the game. And that's all the time we got for today. We'll see everyone on Monday with our next regular episode. We'll see y'all then. Bye.
Bye.